Hello, what is your name?
Linda Mantley.
Are you comfortable sharing your date of birth?
Yeah.
What is it?
June 24th, 1946.
What are 2 to 3 words to explain how you feel about Halifax?
Halifax is not really Halifax. It's now my home, but Africville is where I was born. So now I've been in the city since 1967. But before that, I was born and raised in Africville.
What are a few words to explain how you feel about Africville?
Africville was the bomb. Africville was the freedom, self-sufficient. Everybody that wasn't related to you was always your aunt and your uncle. And everybody got along out there. So, and it was all about family, community, and church was the founding statue for us, as we learned to go to Sunday school, church, in the choir, BYF, everything. So that's what I missed, the freedom. We could swim in the Bedford Basin. We could pick blueberries, wild pears, anything, apples, whatever. We had all that. We don't have that no more. They took it.
Could you please tell us what Africville means to you?
Africville means
Can you tell us about your story in Africville residence, or
Like in Africa.
what you mean.
What your story like? How you came to know more about the history? What happened after? Like,
Well, we really didn't know what was going on when they took Africville. Your elders, you were seen and not heard because you were children. But after finding out what took place, it was long after when we moved into the city. But to me, I forget the question now.
what Africville means to you, like the story, how you found out. Like, how did you and Aunt Deborah get together? Like, so let's start
Well,
there.
Deborah had the dream. She had the dream about bringing the people back together after so many years. We didn't know who was our relatives, who was born or nothing like that. So she wanted to bring the people back, preserve the
Heritage.
heritage, past, future. And then I guess so feel that when you think about Deborah, but and then she came and got me, and then Brenda, Steve Ross. So that's how we formed the Africville Genealogy Society in the fall of 1982. So it's 40 years this year for us to have this picnic, 3-day picnic, and every 5 years it's 10-day picnic. So thanks to Deborah, and I just want to send my love out to her and her family today, where they just lost somebody, to you also and your family.
Thank
I
you.
love you. So in the golden rule out there I was taught, treat people as you would want people to treat you. And that's how we was. So not only was black people, but white people lived there too. They come out there. People, they ask for something, somebody give them. If they wanted to stay, they would stay. So that's what Africa was about. That was my home, my community, church, family, and everything.
And what kind of values do you think you got in Africville?
I think I got values that takes me where I am today, treating people as you would want people to treat you, and being strong, being sufficient to do and to move on, to go on.
So Corey and I would like to know, why was the church so important?
Church was important because that was where everything was held up there in the church, which morning church. There was Vacation Bible School in the summer. There was BYF, Young People's Group, the choir, and they had the ladies auxiliary, missionary, and all that, and the deacons, and that's how we learned, because we had to go to church. We had to be in church, whether it was a Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and on Sunday it would be, especially Easter, 5 o'clock service, then 11, then 3, then 7. So we had to be there all the time. So the church, I think, gave us our values that we live by today.
And what about the name Mantley? How is Mantley, the name, connected to Africville?
Well, I don't know. Mantley's, I think, is from Hammonds Plain, so I don't know the real history. But my mother was a Dixon and married a Mantley. So we are related. And I got Carvey's because my father's sister married a Carvey. So we're all intertwined. We're all related no matter where we are. We can be across the rural in China someplace, and we still got relatives, So I just pray for everybody today and all those even across the world because they need prayers. There's so much stuff going on. We don't know. We're blessed. We're blessed. And you see all these war movies. When I said, well, that's must have been a bad time. I mean, soldiers going over there, fighting and not coming back, stuff like that. When I see the stuff on TV, so
And Corey, want to know, how do you know who you're related to? How do you figure that out, Miss Mantley?
well, I did a family tree. So I did on my mother's side, who was from my mother was from Hammonds Plains, Marsden's and David. So I got all that information as far back as I could go. And on my father's side, I got that too. I've done it, but I haven't given it to my kids or grandkids. So I've got copies to give to my nieces and that, but I haven't given it to them. But it's done.
And why
Right.
did you do it? Like, why was it important?
Because people's always asking questions, especially the younger people who you're related to and you don't know. So you got to tell them because you could be your sister, your brother, or aunt, or uncle. But as far as the DNA or the, what they call it, ancestry,
Mm-hmm.
you could only go back 5 generations. Other than that, how we want to know after that? 5 is far enough. That's all you need. But
Mhm.
I have a cousin at West who's tracing it, and she said we got 900 and some odd relatives across the world with one name. So no, I just think it was important to have it because I've been out so many times.
And what would you want young people like Corey to know about Africville and their family? And
Well, Corey should know who he's related to, who his people are, even in the neighborhood where he lives. You know, you see somebody, ask him. Like, I don't know if you know my son Chris who lives down there. No, see? There's all kinds of people around. You got little Brenda there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I know.
You got big Brenda down further. There's all kinds of people there. My son Chris lives on right on Guardian Street. He's always helping people. So you should know who your relatives are, and don't be afraid to ask. And young people got to now, because I'm going to be 77 this year. You got to step up to the ask questions on even the Afro Genealogy Society if you want to know about it. Ask about your, my friend Deborah, my cousin Deborah. You know, we're all related. But I think that young people got to now be seen or be speak or be spoken and ask questions so that they know.
Mm.
You don't if you ask a question you can't get an answer from that person, try somebody else. Somebody else has the answer. So I think it's important that young people, we need young people because we're getting older. We don't
Yeah.
know how long we're going to live. We don't know. Look how the people are passing. You know, they're younger than us. So you know, God's got us here for a reason.
What are you looking forward to for this 40th
Oh,
anniversary?
it's going to
for
be
Africville?
busy, and I think a lot of people's coming home. I mean, the dance and gala, everything's going. You know, like I think a lot more people is interested. Hopefully that they'll have a good time, and we'll see a lot of people because people hasn't been here probably since COVID. So it will be a celebration. I hope. Not no, we never had arguments. We never had nothing going on bad. But it's a blessing. So they're able to come out on that holy ground and be blessed. And have a good time.
Last question from me and Corey, since we're all related. Did you ever think, and Deborah, yourself, and Brenda would think this is what you started 40 years ago? Is this what you imagined?
No, I didn't imagine that was going to take it. It's just that we were trying to get people back every year, just on a 3-day picnic and bring your beer, cook out there, barbecue, whatever. The fish, we had fish out even the Bedford Basin before. You now see how it's gone out so far and filled in and all that. So no, I never seen. And as I said, now she's gone, and I speak to her. I was speaking to her the other day and said,
Mm,
I have to continue this year. It might be my last year. I don't know.
mm.
So I'm just blessed that we were able to come together. Deborah was able to come with this dream for us, and I bless her all the time.
Thank you.
Love.
Thank you, Ms.